Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphins fans, and welcome to a Thirsty Thursday here on Dolphins Thursday. I am Rob Mosley, aka Dolphins Thirsty. We're here to talk all things Miami Dolphins, and today my fellow host is Steve Malloy, another big-time Fins Up Miami Dolphins fan. So, Steve, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, doing real well. Thank you.
Good to hear. So, Dolphins, we are officially in the start of week 2 as there's NFL football tonight. Dolphins have the primetime game comes Sunday night. And so it should be a couple of good days talking about pro football. Looking forward to the Dolphins. And we will also have a pregame show, guys, 10 a.m. Sunday on this very same Dolphin Thirsty channel. So, Steve, as last week's great win winds down, time to start talking about the upcoming game against the New England Patriots, a division rival, which is really an important. Those are the closest thing to must wins every time you play because it comes down to tiebreakers. Outside of head-to-head, the next tiebreaker is division record. So you definitely want to have a good winning record. So this is an important game in the second week of the season. Do you agree, Steve?
No, I agree 100%. And I know, people are probably saying, oh, well, it's too early to say this, but it's a must win. This is a must win for us because as you mentioned, this is a division rival and we're playing against the Patriots and, Bill Belichick is going to be prepared for this game. And we got to win this game. We really do.
Yes, I agree with you. Maybe not the must win, but it's almost a must win because you want to win division games. It all comes down to the end, tiebreakers, and this is a game. And I feel like the Dolphins are better than the Patriots, but I feel like this is going to be a very close game, and it's going to be a whole different style than what we saw the other day because Belichick, like you said, he's going to come at them with different stuff. But then McDaniel, he's going to counter with different stuff. It's going to be a good chess match, I find. I think McDaniel is a very good offensive coach. He's starting to get respect around the league when you see like these guys treat out. I sent you a video. I don't know if you got to see it yet with Court McCoy talking about how McDaniel is starting to do things.
No, I haven't.
Okay, give it a look on your phone when you can later, and it's really interesting. And he really broke down like McDaniel was coming up with some really unique stuff, and that other teams are already starting to follow suit because it's a copycat league and they see, oh, look at them move all these guys all in motion, and now other teams are starting to pick up that trend. So very interesting. So I do think we've hit with a very good offensive minded coach. Now it can be the head coach that leads us to the Super Bowl. That's what we all want, and at the end of the day, that's all we care about. But I'm happy to have McDaniel at the helm of the Miami Dolphins of this current team. I think he's going to be a good coach. He's already a good coach, and I think he can lead this team into the playoffs and beyond, hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely like Mike McDaniel myself. He's got a unique style. He brings new, fresh, ideas to the offense. And as you can see, he in the game last week against the Chargers, he showed that. I don't know if a lot of folks really noticed, but Tua definitely had a good game. He was spot on. I mean, his balls were perfect, good placement. But what made a lot of that happen was Mike McDaniel. And what I mean by that is a lot of folks are giving a lot of praise to the offensive line, which they do deserve. They did their job. They did what they had to do. They played the scheme perfectly to the T that McDaniel devised. And what that was Tua doing, if you look at film, all 22, if you notice, on I would say more than 95% of the dropbacks by Tua Tagovailoa, they were two-step dropbacks Bam, he had the ball out in 2.3 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, grant
Hey,
you, he's still got to get the ball to his receivers, and the receivers still have to get open. They still have to execute, but they executed that to perfection last week. So
hey,
it's a
that
new week.
yeah.
We're playing the Patriots. Let's see.
Yeah, no, he's gonna game plan. And Crazy Dolphin gives you a good evening, Steve. And good evening to
Thank
you,
you, Crazy
Crazy
Dolphin. Good
Dolphin.
evening to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you for coming in and saying hi. But yeah, I agree because Belichick is going to game plan. He's going to throw new wrinkles. And I do believe McDaniel will counter those wrinkles with wrinkles of our own. But I mean, it's
Mhm.
really hard. You can counter all that, but it's hard with what they did to get Tyreek Hill open. It's hard to cover that guy. I mean, we are benefiting from
Yeah,
having one of the most
absolutely.
explosive players in the NFL on our roster. And it's really hard for teams to try to cover him, especially when he has a head start and they got him in motion and he's just running. It's crazy, man. Can you imagine being a defensive back with the assignment of trying to cover Tyreek Hill? I mean, they're going to come. They're going to try to bump him. They're going to probably bring safeties down on him. They're going to do everything they can do to where Tua's going to. He's probably going to say, Bill Belichick, I'm sure they're planning. Let's not let Tyreek Hill beat us. Let's take him away and see what we can do. That's where we should have a benefit. Um, Waddle was a full participant in practice today. He had been struggling with
That's good.
the oblique issue, but he was
Mhm.
a full participant in practice today, according to the injury report. So hopefully he's a full go come Sunday night. And then if you try to take Tyreek too much, Waddle's going to eat. And if you take both of them, we got a lot of good inside guys. It's like Braxton Burials and River Craycraft and Emmitt
Yep.
Smite, some guys out of the backfield in the running game. We got a lot of weapons this year, which I think is a good benefit because so many years we were dependent on like one or two guys. And if they didn't make plays, you were kind of messed up for the day. Now we got more in the arsenal, and I think we're more diverse. And if they can, especially if they can ever start mixing in more of a solid running game, we're never going to be a run first team. It's just the way this team is set up. When you got Waddle and you got Hill, you're going to, kind of
Mhm.
lean towards a pass, but we can be a more balanced team. And I think we're that much harder to stop. So, hey,
Yeah.
Fins
No.
up, Adam. Thank you so
And
much, Adam, for being a regular in our show.
and
It's a
and
big fins up to you, and
yeah,
thank you so
Adam, how
much.
you doing, Adam? Good to see you
So,
here, man.
yeah,
Yeah, we did have the weapons last year. We had them last year. Just we
yeah, but
didn't utilize them.
yeah,
And
well,
this
some of the
year,
guys
I
got injured. Like I don't want to jinx it, but one of the main cogs that leads that whole offense got injured, so we kind of lost our steam.
right. Right. No, I understand where you're coming from there, but what I'm saying is when that
Yeah,
specific person that we're talking about is, healthy and upright
right,
and playing, we still had the talent and we didn't utilize them as much as I would have liked to have seen.
right.
And this year we're starting off on the right track. I know it's the first game of the season. We're starting on the right track offensively, and we are utilizing the weapons. Now, we can argue the fact that we might have better talent or better weapons than we did last year. I'll give you that. But we did have
Well,
some
I
talent and weapons last year that we could have utilized and we didn't.
okay.
But
What I would say is I think we got
this is a new
people that.
year, so
No, no, I agree. We had the weapons last year, but Easy was a rookie, so he only played in one game.
yeah,
Gesicki wasn't a
yeah,
good fit for the system. Smite may not be
hmm
as big as the target as Gesicki was, but he's a better fit for our offense. And now he got all the
hmm
snaps this past Sunday, and he made three
yeah,
nice catches, and he was pretty good in the blocking game. You got Ingo, who's good. I just think we got a little more dynamic this year to where I think
hmm
he realized he can't just count on Waddle and Hill week in and week out because teams
yeah,
can say, "Oh, that's all they're going to." We will find ways to take those two guys away. So now the
hmm
Dolphins say, "Okay, you're going to take those two." We got River Craycraft. He may not get the big play, but he would eat you alive just in the middle of the field all day, him and Burrows. So
yeah,
I do believe, and I'm not saying we can't be stopped. Of course, every single team, even the 1984 Miami Dolphins were stopped at times. So you're going to be stopped, but we are very difficult. If we're flowing right and everything's on the go, the Dolphins are a difficult team to defense because speed is hard. And it's the old saying, speed kills. And the Dolphins have speed and
hmm
fades. So
yeah, yeah. They do, no doubt. No doubt at all. I agree. But yeah, there's not much you can say more about the offense other than they had an outstanding game. And in years past, it was the defense, and even last year, most of the time the defense was the one that kind of carried us over the hump a little bit. They
Yeah,
gave the offense plenty of opportunities last year to score, and they never took advantage of it.
and last year
But
there was
this
struggle.
year, this year was a complete game. It was offense carried the team this year. I mean, this first game anyway. They carried a team. It was all offense, and they scored at will, really.
Yeah, no, no, you're right. And I like Fangio summed it up best. The defense was good enough in a shootout, but most weeks, no, they're not going to, that's not going to fly. So
Yeah, yeah.
Fangio, he does not hold back. He said what he was. He goes, well, we were good enough in a shootout where the one stop was basically good enough. But, from week to week, you can't have that kind of performance from the defense. They're going to have to step up, play better. And I think they
Yeah,
will. I really do. And a
yeah.
lot of us forget the Chargers are no joke. They were a playoff team last year.
Yeah.
Herbert, as much as Dolphin fans base loves to pick on him, Herbert's a good quarterback. Tua's a good quarterback. I'm not saying he's not. Both of them are good quarterbacks, and both can be true. Both can be good quarterbacks, and they both are just different quarterbacks. And yes,
Mhm,
I understand why they're always going to be compared to each other because they were drafted back to back next to each other. So forevermore, they're going to be compared to each other, but they can
mhm,
both be good, both go on to have great careers, both lead their team to playoff
mhm,
victories. But the
mhm,
fact is, Herbert, he has good talented receivers. You have one of the best running backs in football, and they got a good offensive line. So it's no like, oh, the Dolphins suck. Let's not, let's come to the fact that Chargers are pretty good on offense too, and we did enough to win the game. So hopefully, when we don't go against some of those better offenses, we should be able to have a little more control defensively. Is what I'm holding out hope for.
yeah, no, I agree. And the thing too, talking about offensive lines, let's talk a little bit about the Patriots game, Rob. Um, all four of their offensive linemen are hurt. All four. I mean,
Yes,
that's ridiculous. Now it may be different when game time comes, but right
I
now
know, right?
they are
That
injured, and there's the injury report.
There's the injury report. It's a lot of small there, guys, but you can basically see almost all. And Scotty's in the house. Thank you, Corrupt. So there you go. There's the New England guys. Ours are on top up there. New England's is there. And a lot of their guys did practice today in limited, but Trent Brown and City Sal. I always want to mess up his name, like Mo Sal, whatever. So, and then both of those guys did not am in practice today. They're both in concussion protocol. So
Mhm.
I don't know all the league rules around when they have to clear by to be able to consider eligible for the game. I'm not going to be sitting here. I'm like an expert on that, so I don't know. But and then all those other guys are limited. Maybe some of them sit, maybe some of them play, but they're not going to be at 100%. And I never, never, ever, ever, as my disclaimer, want anyone hurt. But when you do play a team of hurt guys, you got to take advantage because teams definitely have taken advantage when the Dolphins were going through their injury woes last year on the offensive line. No, this is the NFL. You go like McDaniel says, no one felt sorry for us when Tua. No one says, "Oh, I feel sorry for the Dolphins." No, they don't. They're going to take advantage, and no one wants to see people hurt, but they're going to take advantage of when you are hurting. Just like the minute a top cornerback goes out and the guy that comes in to replace him is normally right where the quarterback goes because they're going to test you. That's just how it is. So
Mhm.
hopefully they're all healthy, but if not, hopefully the Dolphins take advantage of them. That's my take on it. So I want
Yeah.
I want Scotty's 15 for 15 to really kick up this week if
Yeah.
they're playing their backup offensive line. And I want Chubb to join the sack club. And I want all these guys to start, really performing well. And I do expect a better interior performance. I do expect Wilkins and Sealer. Sealer, had a couple plays early in the game. He missed a sack that could have throttled the Chargers' drive on the very first series, and he missed a sack, but he had got pressure on that one. He just couldn't hold Herbert, and he broke away to scramble to keep the drive alive. But
Yeah.
overall, the defense we all have to say they have to step up and do better. And I do expect them to do better this coming week.
No,
So you
absolutely.
can go, Steve. I know I
They
kind of still,
no, you're good. They must do better. They must do
yeah,
better this week. You know,
yeah,
we talk about the Patriots, jokingly sometimes, but they've got a good all-around team. And whenever you got Belichick at the helm as a coach, he's going to figure out a way to win. And also, don't forget, last year they had Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, and this year they have Bill O'Brien,
no,
a
I know that's a
true
big
offensive
difference.
coordinator.
Yeah,
And what
no,
you can
they
see the
do. Good,
difference.
good
You can
point,
see the
Steve.
difference in the way that Matt Jones played. I mean, he had a
Yeah,
decent game. He had over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah,
he looked as good as when he played when he made All Pro. Remember,
yeah, his
2 years
rookie
back,
year, Pro Bowl.
his rookie
Yeah,
year. Yeah, he made the Pro Bowl, so he looked good.
yeah.
So maybe he's back and true to form. We'll see. And I think the Dolphins are definitely going to have to. Uh, well, I don't know if they're going to have to, but I would love to see them put some pressure on Mac Jones back there.
Oh, no, they
Throwing the
better. I
football.
think they have
Yeah,
to.
they
You're
they got
100%
to.
right. You
Yeah,
got to, man. And it goes for any quarterback in the NFL because
yeah, yeah.
it's all different because you can all look great when you sit back there all day to count the fans and wave to your family in the stands and you have time to throw the ball. So you got to get down because past, man, when Brady used to be back there, man, he could almost stand flat-footed sometimes just waiting to, not so much against the Dolphins because we did get pressure on him over the years and he would get
Oh
frustrated.
yeah,
But you see
yeah,
some New England games, he would literally just stand there, scan the field, look downfield, look down here. It's just crazy. You can't have any quarterback have that much time.
yeah.
And, you got to get the pressures on there. And I do believe Miami can step up this year. I mean, this week and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not
Mm-hmm.
going to win every game scoring 36 points. It's just not sustainable for a long period of time.
Yeah,
Now, can you do it for a while? Yeah. But, eventually you're going to get other teams where you need to be able to stop and, play a little more within yourself there. So.
yeah.
Anyway, Steve, let me see. Oh, I saw someone else. Oh, here, crazy dolphin. Oh, sorry. He goes, I think Fenty will make the adjustments needed for our defense, but some players need to step up. And Scotty echoed the same sentiment. So Scotty and Crazy Dolphin on the same page. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
the players should, especially Wilkins, who takes pride in everything he does.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna step. And remind me, he was probably a little bit. I think you pointed out in our post game show, he was probably a little rusty because he hadn't done full
Right.
participation because he was doing this hold in, whatever term you want to call it, but he
Mm-hmm.
wasn't participating in a lot of the drills. Didn't play in the preseason, so he
Yeah.
may have had a little rust and
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So I give him the benefit of the
Mm-hmm.
doubt, and I expect a big step up game, much better. I don't think New England will be able to just run up the gut as much as what the Chargers were doing to us this past week, where they were getting 6 yards a pop on first down, and I mean more
Yeah.
than that at times. So I do
Yeah.
believe that they take pride. These guys are pros. They have a big ego, and they're going to take pride in wanting to, step
Yeah.
up their performance.
Yeah. And even Vic Fangio said it wasn't so much a scheme. It wasn't the scheme that was the problem. It was the execution, and
Right?
that boils down to the players.
No, no, it is. And McDaniel, the closest thing he would have to calling out players I've seen is he kind of said there was some scheme that some players played without outside that scheme, trying to do their own thing. He goes, which I give credit sometimes, but sometimes you have to stay in the scheme. So I forget exactly how he worded it, but he
Mhm.
basically said some people were playing outside of what they were their own assignment.
Yeah,
So
they were trying to play independently and do their own
right.
thing, basic. That's what he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, that's how he worded it, something like that, to
Yeah.
where he's not
Yeah.
outright knocking them, but yeah, that's more or less what he said.
Yeah.
And it's true. We'll see this week though, because I really do think they will step it up, like a number of our super guests in here tonight are pointing out. Yes, I hope so. Fangio needs his game plan to take Stevenson out of the game and make Mac Jones beat you. So,
Yeah.
that I do. I think that'd be good because if you make him beat you, I think you got a pretty good chance. So
Well,
I know there's going to be a lot of
Scotty,
comparisons. You and I don't like comparing one
yeah.
quarterback to the other, but I know last week, it was like, oh, Herbert and Tua because they were picked right next to each other. This week it's already it's Bama versus Bama, and it's made for stories. But bottom line is the Miami Dolphins versus New England. They just got out there and go out there and play better, and we just have to worry about our guys. And I think we're the better team this year. Because for years we were just like the team that our big Super Bowl would be beating New England in the regular season 1 game a year, and they would go on and win the Super Bowl. But we would be like, well, at least we beat the Super Bowl team. There's hope,
Yeah.
So I'm tired of that. I want to be the good team that we're beating, and some team
Yeah.
brag, well, at least we beat the Dolphins that year when they won the Super Bowl. That's what
Yeah.
I want. I want that feeling where other teams have to take pride in beating us in the regular season. So
Yeah.
that'd be a nice feeling than us. Because, to me,
I
the whole Miami Miracle play, yeah, it's fun, but it's just merely a footnote in Miami Dolphins history because we went on to do nothing, and I think they won the Super Bowl that year or went to,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we didn't even do anything. So yeah, it wasn't even really a pain in their side other than for a few minutes. So I want something fun and sustainable and start winning and having people say, "Oh man, we got the Dolphins on the schedule. We're going to beat them, and it's going to give us a great feeling." That's what I want.
Mhm.
Let's see. Scotty Stevenson is a human bowling ball. You are right. So let's see.
Yeah, don't forget they have Ezekiel Elliott too. I mean, I
Yeah,
know he's up there, and he's not the same Ezekiel Elliott of 5 years ago, but he can still ball. He can still run the
yeah.
ball.
And he did say that Scotty said, and that's why he had a low rating, and Van Ginkel ended up getting more playing time. But again, Scotty was on fire in the morning show, and now he's on fire again. Long shot the wrong gap almost every play. And yes, that's
Yeah,
why Van Ginkel got a lot more snaps, even
and
though
that's
Van
what I was
Ginkel
gonna
was,
say. That's what I was gonna
yeah,
say. I was gonna say Scotty was spot on that assessment for sure.
yeah. Yeah, no, I know. And that's why Van Ginkel came in. I mean, we know that's not the position we all envision Van Ginkel playing a
Hmm.
lot of. So it's just show that, you know, what can I say? We won. Time to move on. But
Exactly. Exactly.
they definitely got to step up. And with Armstead, we're going to move on to this week. Armstead did practice. It does say limited in there. The day
Yeah.
before, he said he was going to go full speed, but he did participate today, but it still says limited on the injury report for today. So, but he was not wearing the non-contact red jersey. So at
Hmm.
least that's a step up. But
Yeah.
he, by his own words, said he was not in football shape yet. So it's going to take a little time because obviously Justin and I and him and Scotty chimed in it earlier today. 100% Armstead, you want out there 100%, he's going to start over Lamb. But if he's at 80 or 90%, you rather might as well have a healthy Lamb because he's going to perform well enough. Armstead would still be well enough at 80 and 90, but maybe you're more prone to another injury or something.
Yeah.
So unless Armstead's in like 95 to 100 percentile, I say sit in one more week. I mean, of course, I want a healthy Armstead. I just want to make that point clear. I want a healthy Armstead, but Lamb at 100% is better than Armstead at 80%, I would say.
No, I disagree. I think Armstead is probably better than Lamb at 70%. It,
Oh, wow. Okay.
the thing that I'm concerned with and you mentioned it, is aggravating the injuries that he already has, or he perhaps getting worsening, um, the injuries, or even sustaining another injury on account of the other three injuries. He's got a back injury, he's got a leg injury, and I forgot the other injury he had. So he
Yeah.
has three different injuries that he's dealing with. And he even mentioned in his media interview, they asked him, well, which one is worse, the leg, the back, or I can't remember the other one. And he said he thinks it's a combination of both, of all of them.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I know. Yeah, but like he said,
but
he did seem determined. He missed playing. He said
mhm,
he did not travel with the team, and that was because the team just said, because of your injury, no reason to be on a long, you're not going to play. Why be on a long flight across the country? He's a huge guy. He's not like a little guy taking up a seat. He's a huge guy, even in
yeah,
the fancy chart, even in the chartered
mhm,
flights. He's still a huge
yeah,
guy to be on an airplane for that long. He sat home, watch the game all alone, he said, and he said he couldn't find how excited he got. and he couldn't believe Tyreek Hill was cheering. He goes, "What is he doing? Does he know where?" He goes, "Doesn't he know we're on the road?" Because he saw Tyreek Hill over it. But then he said he heard the fans out there, and he praised Dolphins fans for traveling so well. So that was all cool stuff coming from Armstead today. I thought that was really cool. So I think this team is really a team. They seem all to be on the same page. They all want, I mean, I know every team. You can say that about every team. They're all on the same page and they want the same thing. But this team just seems to bond well together. And I'm expecting big things from this team.
Yeah, I think it was
Yep.
his ankle, Crazy Dolphin. I believe it was his ankle. You are correct.
Yeah. Yeah, that it was. Like you said, 6-hour flight each way with his back. Stay home and stretch. Yep, exactly.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
that's what good decision there. I know Ramsey went out there, but that's a lot different with his knee injury. And
Yeah.
hey, Ramsey was hopping around, so at least that's a good sign. I
Mhm.
mean, a lot different from football writing, of course. I'm not that naive. I'm just saying at least it's a good sign. No walking
Yeah.
boot, no anything, no crutches. Walking around.
Mhm.
Actually hopped up with Cater Kohu after Kohu got his sack. I thought that was fun to see and seeing him out there with the crew and that he went all the way out west with the team. So that's
Mhm.
some good stuff. And
Sure is.
you know, and back coming to this, I know we keep on saying this week, but so this week, so I'm going to say if our same offensive line goes out there, I think they should do okay. New England has a good defense, I know, but I still think we need to try to be a little more balanced. But I still think we're going to do a lot of passing because they're going to be like, we're going to do this until teams stop us, and
Right.
hopefully
Right.
Belichick doesn't come up with the magic formula in week 2. Hopefully the weather's okay because I know a severe storm's going to go through that area on Friday and Saturday. Hopefully it's not soaky wet. They said it looks like it's okay, the forecast, but hopefully it looks cloudy, but it doesn't really show tons of rain. So hopefully we don't hit into some bad weather to slow our biggest advantage down, which is speed. And I want that to be our biggest advantage. So I'm hoping the weather works out for the Dolphins as best as possible. Hey, there he goes. Jamaican from Zion. Fins up to you. And
Fins
guys, I
up,
forgot to say,
Jamaican.
and guys, if speaking of fins up, if you can nail that thumbs up, but I love to say fins up. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, it is. It's in that area. So we will see, man. We will see how it goes. They're saying it's not going to affect the Dolphins' flight or anything like that, and they're still
Mhm.
going as scheduled, I guess, I believe, or they're
Are
going
they
to leave.
leaving Friday? Are they leaving
Yeah, I think
Friday tomorrow?
They're leaving Friday to be up ahead of the storm and
Mhm.
be there, but it's not going to affect it when the hours that they're leaving because normally on the East Coast trips they only leave one day before the game, but they're actually going up there in the storm preparation, so they make sure they're up
Mhm.
there. But hopefully,
Mhm.
come Sunday night, and hopefully, no one get. I don't want any. Being a Floridian, I've lived through many hurricanes. I was in South Florida, just a little bit north of where the main Andrew hit many years ago. I was in
Mhm.
Kendall, it hit in Homestead, and it was very close, and it sounded like truck going. So I understand. I don't want anyone to go through that, and bigger than football, but hopefully no one gets damaged. And by Sunday night, hopefully nice, good football weather so the Dolphins can go kick some New England butt on national TV on a prime time audience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So everyone's so Steve. I know we got this. We save our predictions.
Mhm.
Or I kind of like the cat out of the bag. I do think the Dolphins are going to win. I won't give my final score prediction until our Sunday show, but the Dolphins. And if you were just like on a neutral field,
Mhm.
what team do you say is a better football team on paper? We all know on the football field things change, but just on paper, who would be the better football team? Dolphins or New England?
Oh, Dolphins by far. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why you got to
Yeah.
win games like that
Yeah.
because we got a
Yeah.
plenty where it's not as big as a
Mm.
difference talent wise. That's why you almost have
Mhm.
to win games like this. You're the better
Mhm.
team. You can't let them do what we used to do to them. Like, they'd be like, up there, and then we'd go and beat them, one game down here, and they'd be way up in this. So you can't get caught sleeping because this division race is far from over. I know a lot of people want to rule out the Jets. I'm not ruling out the Jets because they have a really, really. I mean, when I say good defense, they're really good defense. I don't want to say maybe they're as good as that Ravens defense back when they
Ooh.
won with Trent Dilfer at the Super Bowl level, but they're really good and teams can win that way still. I know it's not as common as it was back then, but they scare me. That defense, I don't know. Maybe the Bills aren't as good. I'm basing it on what I saw the other night. Maybe the Bills
Yeah.
offensive line's not as good as I'm giving credit for. And maybe Josh Allen's not wasn't as sharp as what I know he's always had the turnover thing, and people joke about, oh, Josh Allen's turnovers, as a snack and all that. I know he has that reputation, but the Jets wowed me on defense. I'm like, holy crap. Even the Bills defense scared me. I mean, they were getting after it, but I know the Jets offensive line is known to be weak. I don't really know where Buffalo stand, but I was
Mhm.
surprised that the Jets were just really getting at it. And, I don't know. I'm hoping that was just more of who they were going against. Now they're going to go against the Cowboys. We'll see but the Cowboys have a really good defense too. But we're going to see. And it's very rare, man. I root for our Cowboys, but when they're playing the Jets this week, I'll be rooting for the Cowboys. And I hope that that the Jets defense comes down a little bit. But that defense looks scary to me. And Buffalo is
Yeah.
still Buffalo. And they're 0-1. They're still the reigning AFC East division winners for 3 seasons or whatever it is. So it's not going to be a cakewalk, but I as we stand right now, I do think the Dolphins should be serious contenders to win the division. That was my
Yeah.
long-winded answer that I wanted to get to. I just don't want to think people to think, oh, I think it's easy and he's guaranteed. There are tough times. Scotty would probably, hey, I like that, Scotty.
Yeah, man.
I hope
31 to
you're right.
10. I'll take
I
that.
would love that, man. I would take it every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Even though you only have to play one coming Sunday, I would take it. That's a great, great score. Now he gets me pumped up because Scotty watches all this stuff. So maybe he's saying, oh, don't worry, Dolphin thirsty. And it's not that bad. I didn't see much of New England's game because it was same time as the
Yeah.
Dolphins. I'm sorry, I'm not watching anything on the Red Zone. I'm not doing anything as it's Dolphins. The Dolphins are the only thing on my TV. And so I didn't watch much of it, but I would see the ticker down below, and then they would highlight, they would show highlights from that game. But I saw like, oh yeah, that's what I thought. Philadelphia's going to blow them out. But then I'm seeing the score get closer and closer, and it came to a 1-score game basically at the end. So I don't know. That scared me because I think the Eagles are a Super Bowl contending team again, like they were last year. So I don't know if anyone caught winning that game. Did the Eagles just self-destruct a little bit? Or is New England better than what we're thinking?
If I'm not mistaken, and if anybody in the chat knows, I thought I heard that the Eagles they had a couple guys on the offensive line that were hurt that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, the Eagles?
The Eagles did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody in the chat knows, but I thought I heard something like that.
Hey,
Um,
RL, welcome again. Double dipping with us, RL, too. A couple guys were here in the morning and in the evening show tonight. I
how are you,
love it, man.
RL?
Yeah, RL. Yeah, awesome. We're doing well. Hey, I would love that, man. Only thing that scares me is Eagles lost it last year. Is that going to be extra motivation, or do we make them the Buffalo Bills and lose a couple of Super Bowls in a row? Of course, we know how many Buffalo. I'm not going to take any shots at them until we play them. But we will see. But that scares me a little bit. I had said Miami and San Francisco a rematch of my young that took me forever to get over when I was young because I was a teenager when Dan Marino lost to the 49ers in the Super Bowl. I would love a rematch of that with our team buying the Diet Pepsi this year, Tua buying Purdy the Diet Pepsi. That would be a great remake of a commercial, but our guy buying this time. So let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm going to find all I can. Well, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate all your views and thumbs up. And when you subscribe, you really become a team member here, and I love it. It's really cool stuff because I know there's 10,000 Dolphin shows out there, and I appreciate the fans that find me because I'm just here to talk Miami Dolphins football with guys like Scotty and Steve and Justin from my earlier show and many others. But Steve, you and I are like you are a few years older than me, so you remember the old good Super Bowl
Mhm.
years. We both remember the Super Bowl losses. Is where I really start kicking in. So
Yeah.
but it's been way too long since I'm in those days, man. I mean, when you go
Oh,
20
yeah.
something years without a playoff win, it's just I think that's why maybe I'm a little more scared than a lot of Dolphin fans because I've seen this rodeos where we start off hot and all the Dolphin Twitter's changed things, but I've seen confident Dolphins in the past. I mean, when Shula teams would start to fade down towards the end and stuff would go like, oh, because I remember I was up, and I went at the time. I had someone that they didn't know how to drive a stick shift, and they said, "Oh, can you go all the way up to Sheboygan, Michigan, and drive the car back to South?" And this was over Thanksgiving weekend. I said, "You don't have to pay me other than the gas for your car, of course. You don't have to do me anything, but you got to make sure I'm on Thanksgiving. I'm watching the Dolphins versus the Cowboys, and that was the famous Leon Lett game. I thought when we won that
Oh
game,
yeah,
oh, it's changed everything. We are now the Miami Dolphins that finally had someone go our way. Just as our year, we never won another game that year. We
I
never won
remember.
another game that year.
I
So I
remember.
get a little gun shy when I want to get boastful about my Dolphins. I don't know what
Yeah.
record we would have to be where I'm starting getting boastful. Because last year when I started riding that wave of enthusiasm, I think they were what 8-3,
Eight
something
and
like
three.
that.
Yeah,
Around
8-3.
there,
We
we lost
both were riding that wave.
then we lost 5 games in a row. So I think
Yeah.
there's recent memories, there's old memories, but I'm just going to enjoy each week. And this one was fun. We had the AFC Player of the Week, and if there was a second place AFC Player of the Week, we had the second place AFC
Yeah.
Player of the Week.
Yeah.
So it was a fun game. It did kind of remind me of the old days watching Marino throw the rock around to Mark Duper and Mark Clayton. It was fun. But now I put that down, and I'm looking forward to it. I just always afraid of that next shoe dropping.
Oh, thank you, Crazy Dolphin. The Eagles' injuries are at defensive tackle, safety, running back, and what was the other one?
Oh, hold on. There you go.
And cornerback. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know why I thought it was the offensive line, but anyway.
So maybe they did have
Thank
some
you.
injury, but I was
Appreciate it.
surprised because when I saw them go up like 16-0, I said, all right, the Eagles are doing the smackdown I thought they were going to do on the Patriots. Then I kept on seeing the score get closer and closer and closer. And at the end of the game, they actually went for like 30 seconds because the Dolphin game was over a couple minutes before and they went to it. But, the Eagles won, but it was like the Patriots scared me a little bit.
Yeah.
And the fact that, I don't know, Bill Belichick team starting 0-2. But like Crazy Dolphin said, he said here, I respect the Patriots, but not scared of them like in the past. So
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that statement.
Yeah.
I do respect him, and I respect Bill Belichick and what he can do with his teams. But yeah, I definitely don't they don't scare me like they did in the past for sure.
Yeah. No, 100% sure. But like I say, it's tough, man. You're going there on still Sunday night, prime time in Foxborough, where historically we haven't done that well recently. And we know in the
Right.
so-called pink season, we knocked them out of a spot down in a rank where they had to travel for the playoffs. So we did give them a little oomph, but that year, and then the Wildcat year. But other than that, there's so many years of going up there. I mean, as well as we played them here in Miami, we went up there and we didn't do so well. So I guess a lot of those years are just in my mind. I'm just hoping that, try to tell myself, this is a new year, Rob. Be confident in your team. But, I've just seen the rodeos so many times that I get a little bit nervous. Oh, I hope not, man. I hope not, man. I hope they don't go that bad. But even though it'd be fun to see them go that bad, but no, I don't want them getting Caleb. That kid, I'm buying the Kool-Aid of. I don't always with guys in college before they even take their first NFL snap, but that kid's special, man. I don't want to have to face him for the next couple decades. Well, not obviously that long, but Tom Brady was almost a couple decades. But hey, Ralph. Oh, by the way, Mr. Courtwright in the house. Touch that like button. And oh yes, thank you, man. Thank you.
How you doing, Raphael?
Wilkins touching now. And there, hey, that's funny. Like Wilkins touching now. That's a good one, man.
Thanks for coming by, Raphael.
Yeah, always, man. So
And I see
but
we got is it Moya? Moya is in the
I didn't even
house.
see him sneak
Yeah.
in there. Moya,
Yeah.
welcome to the room, man.
Yeah,
Good
I
to
put it
see
on
you
the screen
sneak.
there. So
Yeah, thank you, Steve.
yeah, appreciate you
Didn't
for
even see
joining.
him sneak in there. He's another good regular. Thank you, Moya, for giving us a fins up in here, man. Awesome. But yeah, so I know. I admit, Derek. See, you guys are my therapy session. I admit that I just, sometimes worry about the Dolphins. I'm trying to be confident, guys. I'm trying to be. As much as I love them, and I am a homer, I admit. That's why I bring Steve in the real talk. He had sometimes talked me become too positive, but I always do wait for that other shoe to drop because I've seen it too many times. So I just want to go up there, come back. I want if we can win 31-10 or something in that neighborhood that Scotty predicted, I'd be really then drinking the Kool-Aid and rolling because I'm going to that first game. I'm going to the first home game against the Denver Broncos. I'd be going in there all cocky if we knocked off New England in front of the whole national audience. Because a lot of times lately when the Dolphins, they beat the Steelers last year on Monday Night Football, but that was one of the ugliest games I've seen in many moons. Tua was just an ugly, ugly game. We won because of all things equal, came up with an interception, believe it or not. And then that game was ugly. And then we went in there and stunk it up against the Chargers. Against Buffalo, we did well. We lost. In result, we lost, but we didn't at least embarrass ourselves on national TV or anything. But we just haven't had our best prime time performances. That's what I want. So,
Yeah.
like I say, I hope that they don't get Caleb Williams. I would love the 1 year of them sucking that much, but hey, I don't want him have to face that guy every year for the next several years.
We don't know what he's gonna. We don't know what he's gonna turn out to be. I mean,
of course, we don't. Look at Andrew Luck. It was like suck for luck, and he was great, but before you knew it, poof, he's already out of the NFL. It's just
well, do you blame him?
No, I do not. He's smart. He walked around with off his brains intact, and he was getting beat up. I can't believe we have to wait for the night game this week. Yes, this is 100% right, Scotty. That's somebody I said last week. I can't believe we got to wait till a 4:00 game. Then they one up me, and then I have to wait till a prime time game. I'm like, come on. Because you just get itchy, and you're like, oh my God. Then I start running over all the scenarios and like, oh, it's going to be a good day, a bad game. And it's tough, man. So I just hope that they give us a nice, good performance come Sunday night and everything's, nice and rosy in Dolphin land, and we're all really beating our chest, maybe a little tired come victory Monday morning, getting up and doing our things that we got to do. But at least we will have that victory smell still fresh in our brains. And that's what I would love because I was fired up. On the 4:00 game, it took me a while to fall asleep. It was so much fun that game. You and I were screaming and hollering.
Oh yeah, so was I. Folks should have seen us right before we did the show.
I know we were really screaming on the phone, dude. I know. I was like, man, but I'm telling you, if they do that every week to me, I may have to check in somewhere because I'm going to have to be, monitored with my heart because I can't live through that every single week coming down to the last minute.
Yeah, for sure.
And that Tua pass, I'm telling you, of all the passes he did, all those beautiful long passes and the beautiful out pass, that pass, how he ever fit. I've talked about it 10,000 times on all the shows already. How he fit that ball when you see in slow motion when he throws, oh my God, what a beautiful there in the corner. Dropped it. I can't believe it. I don't know how he got that ball. If they say, Rob, run over there and throw it and drop it, and that guy would probably knock it out of my hand. He put that ball where only Hill could get it in. What a
for sure.
It's a beautiful thing.
It was a beautiful pass, and that wasn't the only one. I was in awe. I really was, and
you're tough on. I know
I'm tough on Tua, but
you're a Tua fan, but you're tough on him because you
want him.
You're not one of these guys that bashes him just to bash him.
When he was throwing those darts and those dimes and just dropping them in there, my mouth was like wide open. I was like, I couldn't believe it. So he had a great game for sure.
Yeah, I know. No other QB would have been able to hand it to Hill, and I know. It was like a thing of beauty, man. Normally, like when you throw that route, you're going to a receiver that's like 6'8",
correct,
6'8", but you know what I mean, like
tall,
6 foot.
Tall receiver,
a tall receiver, and they're going to jump for it. But that cornerback was taller than Hill. Somehow he fits that ball in there, and it was a thing of beauty, man. I'm sure that defensive back is still probably like, how in the hell did I make Hill catch that ball? How did he goes, I did everything I had to do other than maybe turn around and look for the ball or whatever, but he did everything he had to do, and it's just somehow he got that ball in there, man.
Yeah,
he Hill was running wide open,
Yeah, yeah,
and then that's one thing. But this is crazy, man. Yeah, it's just
yeah.
insane. I don't
Mhm.
know. I love that pass. I mean, of course, it won the game, so it stands out. But man, that was fun to watch. I cannot believe he completed that pass to this day. I mean, it just shows it's a game of inches, man. I mean, he just,
Yeah.
what a beautiful pass. And then some of those long practice. I love how his trainer tweeted out video of him practicing, and it was side by side by the game
I
film.
saw that. Yeah,
That
yeah,
was a beautiful thing where it's almost the same exact thing where Tua runs
yeah.
up, throws it, and Hills, and then and
Mhm.
then he happened this week in the game. So it just
Yeah,
shows, man, this guy goes out there. No one's going to outwork him. He's good. And that's why, I think he took offense to when Clark was talking junk. Not so much what Clark said, but like hinting that he didn't try to work in the offseason. He's like, oh, then, keep my name out of your mouth, and that's the
yeah.
unto alike. But I
Yeah,
thought
but
that's
to
why.
be fair, there's a lot of players that work hard on the off
Oh
season
no,
too.
they
You
do.
know,
But why would he?
yeah.
Why Clark would call
But
him
I
out for not
agree. I
working?
agree. I agree.
Most of
Clark
these
should
players
know that.
work hard. You
Yeah,
can
Clark
tell
should
that.
know that.
I think it was Scotty or one of my regulars in the earlier show that says it's obvious he'll practice because his route running was so crisp and precise. So he obviously practiced. And then did you see that where Mike McDaniel, they call it McBreakdown, and he broke down that play?
Yeah, I saw that. You sent me that video.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I saw
sent you
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw
So
that. Yeah,
So, I mean,
that
and
was
it's
cool.
true, man. He goes, and Tyreek's been working on that all off season, a release point like
Mhm.
that. So I,
Yeah,
no,
and in fact, I was going to mention earlier a lot of the stuff that I saw in the game. I actually, when I was at the joint practices,
yeah,
and also during a lot of the practices that I observed, on live coverage, they were practicing that. They were actually practice everything I saw in those joint practices. They were working on and over and over again, and they did it in the game.
no, it was
They did
perfect,
it in
man.
the
And
game.
hey, crazy Dolphins. That's why I call myself Crazy Dolphin because of being a Dolphins fan since the '70s and experiencing up and down season. Yeah, but for the best first time in years, our Dolphins roster looks great. I do agree, it looks great, and I'm trying to be confident. But I've just seen this, rodeo way too many times, so I want to see it play out. But I am, trying to be as confident, and this is a really good roster. And I like to say, this team, all teams like Steve says, all these guys this day and age, it's not like the old day. I mean, Joe Rosa said, they would be like, he'd be up, goofing off all season, maybe even trying to earn an extra buck doing this and that. And then he'd be like, oh, crap, I got to get in shape. Training camp's in a couple of weeks, and Shula's going to say I'm overweight, and all that. These guys don't do that. Now they got nutrition plans. They work all year round. They're in top shape. And,
Let me
it's
tell you
time to,
something, Rob. They
yeah.
better been in shape when they were playing when Shula was the coach.
Oh, yeah,
He
no,
had
he
that
was.
12-minute run, baby.
Yeah, Joe Rose
12-minute
said he used
run.
to see that all the time, and people would be puking on the side and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
He would just make them run all the time. It was like great stuff, man. And
Mhm.
I love listening. The main reason I love Joe Rogan when he starts getting talking about his old days, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
And he was saying how times have changed now because he goes, I can even imagine like someone going into like Shula's office and saying, "Oh, can I have a veteran day off?" He'd be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And he says one
Get out of
time,
here. You're traded. We're
"Yeah, I
trading you.
know, yeah, I know." So that's why, because he said, one time they talked to White Stevenson. They go, "Oh, he's great. He's an all-pro.
Right.
Shula's not going to get mad at him." He goes, "Can't you tell him you think the guys think he's going a little hard on us?" Because the next day we never practiced so hard in our life. And he was saying, he yelled at him into White Stevenson. So that's just how times have changed, of course, but those are just good
Hey,
stories
Rob.
that,
Rob, didn't you
yeah.
didn't you read the book Larry Zonka?
Yes, I
I
did.
mean, Larry
Yeah.
Zonka had a lot of those stories in there too, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I know. And he said Shula could have a good laugh every so often, but he could
Mhm.
run you. He's one of the ones that did the alligator in the
Right.
shower of
Manny
Shula.
Fernandez. I think Manny
Yeah.
Fernandez did that. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are
Mhm.
crazy, crazy times. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's great, man. Football was great back then. Football's still great. Yes, it's changed, and it's probably changed for the better because these guys,
Yeah, for sure.
they're here for our entertainment. They're not here to get beat up to a pulp and such. I mean, football's still a brutal sport, but they're out there, and they do try to take strides and help them because it used to be Joe Rose would go out there, boom, gets hit. They're like, oh, how many fingers? And he would go like 3, 4. Okay, close enough. Get back out there, and they're
Yeah.
holding up like 2 fingers. They go, oh, you just got your bell rung. You're fine.
Yep. Yep.
So I agree, Crazy Dot. It's not easy trying to be positive, and I do believe that we got a really good team. I just don't want that shoe to drop where I'm saying, oh, here we go again, because in Flores this last year, we had a 7-game losing streak. Last year, in McDaniel's first season, we had a 5-game losing streak. I just don't want that. And yes, I bring that up almost on every show because they're so fresh in my mind, those losing streaks. And they both come at a time that you think, because that first 7-game losing streak, you go out, become 1-0, then we lose 7 straight games. 7 straight games after feeling so confident after being 1-0. We lost 7 state freaking games. Then we had that big winning streak, but it was almost like the too little, too late theory at that point. And then
Yeah.
last year we had a 5-game losing streak, snapped it finally at the end to sneak into the playoffs, and then lost. So when I
Yeah.
was a kid, oh, go ahead, Steve.
Okay. Yeah. Scotty said when I was a kid, it was never called a concussion. It was called getting my clock cleaned. Yeah. And when I was a kid playing football, it was getting your bell rung.
Yeah, that's the term that Joe Rose. So you're like
Yeah.
him. That's like he always uses.
And
Get
it's
my
funny.
bell.
It's I was listening to I think it was Richmond Webb, and yes, it was Richmond Webb, and somebody was asking him questions. He was on a panel show, and they were asking him questions. Somebody asked him the question about concussions. Well, he didn't get too, he didn't want to get in trouble because he's still involved with the NFL in some respects, especially with the
Right.
Miami Dolphins organization. But he was saying, they asked him, well, how many concussions you think you had over the years while you were playing? He couldn't even answer. He couldn't even
Yeah.
say how many he had. And
No, I
and
know.
and like you said, and like we were just discussing, he got his bell rung.
Yeah, no
That's what
one
they
ever because
called
no
it.
one ever thought, oh, you might be no one ever thought it. They just said,
Mhm.
oh, and it's just like get out there again, it's just and that's it's changed for the better. I know sometimes as fans, I really get mad at some of the roughing the quarterback calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Like last year up against the Chargers, Jaden Phillips did a picture perfect sack. And they still called roughing the quarterback on him. And
Yeah,
to
that
me,
was a
it's just
little
like,
too extreme, I think.
that's a little too extreme. You have to have a
Yeah.
happy medium in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what they wanted him to do. I mean, he's going full speed at the guy. He puts his hand up so he doesn't fall completely on him, and they throw the flag. You
Yeah.
know, their Brett Sarge said by today's standards, he got over
Yeah.
100 concussions
I
playing.
saw that interview. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's crazy, man. Yeah, but we're gonna watch a game tonight. I mean, I will catch some of it. Much better than what the Hurricane game. Hurricanes playing Bethune Cookman. I'm like, why did they even bother scheduling games like that in college? I'm not. I always say
What are
I'm
you
not a
talking about?
gambler, but
Bethune-Cookman, that's where Larry Little played his football.
yeah, many moons ago. But yeah, one good Hall of Fame player coming from Bethune Cookman. It's like Hurricanes have been, no team, and then Hurricane. Believe me, they're not every single big teams play teams like that throughout the year. But I mean, come
Yeah.
on, man. And then they're like 50 something. That's embarrassing when you're 50 something point favorites. And I'm not even a
Wow.
gambling
Are
fan,
they
and I
are
know
they
that.
50-point favorites? Are you serious?
Yeah, they're 50 something point favorites. Five.
Holy mackerel.
Yeah, I don't know the exact, but it's a lot. I heard him saying it on the radio today. I'm like, that's insane, man. It's like,
Mm.
oh my goodness. Hey, Ender, as always, welcome. You're double dipping with us today, too. You were in the earlier show. Ender, it's always
Ender,
great to have
my
you in here.
man.
Yeah, make sure you nail that, but you always do, but nail that thumbs up for us. But yeah, it's crazy. But tonight, I expect the Eagles to beat Minnesota. Minnesota will go to 0-2, and the Eagles will go to 2-0, is my prediction, which probably means take the money the other way and run because I'm probably wrong. That's what my if I had
Don't
to
bet on
again,
Rob. Don't bet on Rob's prediction.
yeah, no, I'm always still hey, whatever I say goes the
Disclaimer,
other way.
disclaimer. Don't bet on Rob's decision.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
prediction.
But if I had to bet, I would, they just say you had to bet a straight up winner. I'm taking the Eagles, and I think we can all agree that we think we would take the Eagles because to
Absolutely. I'm
me,
taking the Eagles.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure since Scotty said the Eagles are making the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure he's going to say he's taking the Eagles. But we're almost at a wrap up, guys, and if you got hey, let's see, he's being Navy at Memphis. Well, that's probably better than the Hurricanes matchup. I mean, goodness gracious. But let's see, I got Philly as well. Yeah, I think, like I said, I think most people are going to have Philly for
Yeah.
sure. We're almost at the end, Steve. Guys, if you still want more football, more talk, I'm going to talk about a friend where Steve actually and I every Tuesday night we're on Real Talk Fins Talk on the Fins Talk Sport Network. If you want more Miami Dolphins talk, you can join Evan Posner and probably Hank over there talking Miami Dolphins football. They started a few minutes ago. Could be a trap game, though, Ralphie. You're right. Oh, what was the nickname you said I could call you? But anyway, Mr. Courtright. I think he said Ralphie or something like that. Raphael Courtright. But yes, that could be. Let's see. I got Philly Knight, though Mini is my second team. Hey, you can't have a second team, Scott. I'm just teasing. That's all fine. At least they're over in the NFC. And that was the last time the Dolphins won the Super Bowl was beating Minnesota. And I was 4 years old, but I still know it because I have to read about Dolphins history to know about Super Bowl wins because I'm not old enough to remember them happening in my presence. So I'm hoping that changes here in the next couple of years. And it's all I think every Dolphin fan can agree on that. So, Steve, before I close out, is there anything else you want to add? Oh, and you can find Steve and I was going to say on the Fins Talk Sports Network every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be on this Dolphin Thursday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning, talking about the upcoming New England Patriots game. And hopefully we would have better read on who's healthy, who's not, and all that kind of good stuff.
You mean 7:30 Eastern Standard Time?
Yeah. Oh.
7:30 Eastern Standard.
What did I say on the Fins Talk?
You said 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, yeah, 7:30 p.m. on the Real Talk Fins Talk. And then 10 a.m. on our channel. Hey, yes, thank you guys. You guys made it a great show. Happy you're all on here. And if you still want, don't worry. We know, man. We know you mean Malloy. It doesn't matter. As long as the old saying is you don't call him late for dinner, you can call him anything.
Exactly.
So.
Exactly. I've been called everything, but just don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's an old man joke, and I'm an old man, so we both know that. You other guys are probably saying, "Oh, brother, I read it that."
I'm old. I'm old as dirt. So.
Yeah. Hey, it's all good, guys. Thank you. Like I said, if you want more Dolphins football, go check out the Fins Talk Sports Network. They're getting very close to 1,000 subscribers over there, and it's all good. All right, guys. Hey. Fins up, guys. Any closing thoughts, or are you ready for your? Just let me get my video, and then
my closing shot is my closing. What did I say? My closing
shot.
Did I say shot?
Yeah.
Oh no. My closing statement is we're going to go down to Foxborough or up to Foxborough this week. And I believe we are going to win. I won't give you my prediction, but I think we are going to win. We're going to beat the Patriots. And remember,
okay,
Dolphins number one, baby. Dolphins number one.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you want to know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for